pendidikan bahasa Indonesia, pendidikan bahasa Inggris, pendidikan IPS, pendidikan dasar, pendidikan matematika. Seluruh program studi Universitas Muhammadiyah Profesor Dr. Hamka, kompetensi lulusan menjadi hal yang sangat diperhatikan, baik orientasi keilmuan atau hard skill dan keterampilan atau soft skill. Untuk soft skill, kami mengawalinya dari keterampilan yang terkait dengan kewirausahaan. Menunjang kedua hal tersebut, kami memiliki lembaga sertifikasi profesi yang bekerja sama dengan Badan Nasional Sertifikasi Profesi atau BNSP.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Zainuddin Mahyudin. Saya dari Adonara Flores. Saya berkuliah di sini untuk menunjang pendidikan dan karir saya ke depan, dan karena terakreditasi A sehingga membuat saya yakin untuk memilih kampus ini.
Untuk soft skill, kami mengawalinya dari keterampilan yang terkait dengan kewirausahaan. Menunjang kedua hal tersebut, kami memiliki lembaga sertifikasi profesi yang bekerja sama dengan Badan Nasional Sertifikasi Profesi atau BNSP.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Zainuddin Mahyudin. Saya dari Adonara Flores. Saya berkuliah di sini untuk menunjang pendidikan dan karir saya ke depan, dan karena terakreditasi A sehingga membuat saya yakin untuk memilih kampus ini.
Sekolah Pasca Sarjana Universitas Muhammadiyah Profesor Dr. Hamka memiliki visi utama yang unggul dalam mendidik sumber daya manusia yang memiliki kecerdasan spiritual, intelektual, emosional, dan sosial. Dengan misi menyelenggarakan pendidikan dan pengajaran bermutu serta pengembangan berbagai bidang ilmu, melaksanakan berbagai kegiatan penelitian dalam rangka pengembangan disiplin ilmu, melaksanakan pemberdayaan dan pengabdian masyarakat sebagai aplikasi dari penelitian dan pengembangan berbagai disiplin ilmu untuk kesejahteraan dan kemaslahatan umat, mewujudkan semua kegiatan pasca sarjana UHAMKA sebagai gerakan amar ma'ruf nahi mungkar.
Sekolah Pasca Sarjana Universitas Muhammadiyah Profesor Dr. Hamka dalam visi Prophetic Entrepreneurial University di tahun 2045 merupakan sekolah pasca sarjana utama yang unggul dalam mendidik sumber daya manusia sehingga memiliki kecerdasan spiritual, intelektual, emosional, dan sosial. Untuk mendukung visi tersebut, maka Sekolah Pasca Sarjana UHAMKA melaksanakan proses pembelajaran dengan menerapkan sistem pembelajaran blended learning dengan perbandingan 40-60%. Selama masa pandemi COVID-19 ini, seluruh proses perkuliahan dilaksanakan secara daring. Sekolah Pasca Sarjana UHAMKA sebagai kampus Islami berkemajuan menerapkan budaya saling belajar yang mengedepankan nilai-nilai keislaman dan kebinekaan, sehingga secara terus-menerus dapat meningkatkan kecerdasan spiritual, intelektual, emosional, dan sosial sepanjang hayat, sehingga menghasilkan generasi unggul yang cerdas dan berakhlak mulia. Sekolah Pasca Sarjana UHAMKA dengan spirit Al-Ma'un senantiasa meningkatkan mutu pendidikan dan pembelajaran dengan memberikan beasiswa bagi guru yang sudah bersertifikat, alumni, dan sumber daya manusia amal usaha Muhammadiyah.
Sekolah Pasca Sarjana Universitas Muhammadiyah Profesor Dr. Hamka memiliki program studi unggulan antara lain penelitian dan evaluasi pendidikan, manajemen, administrasi pendidikan, ilmu kesehatan masyarakat, pendidikan bahasa Indonesia, pendidikan bahasa Inggris, pendidikan IPS, pendidikan dasar, pendidikan matematika. Seluruh program studi Universitas Muhammadiyah Profesor Dr. Hamka kompetensi lulusan menjadi hal yang sangat diperhatikan, baik orientasi keilmuan atau hard skill dan keterampilan atau soft skill.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's open this event by saying basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the event visiting Professor Erasmus Plus with the topic Primary Education in Bulgaria and Japan. First of all, let us pray and praise Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessing and mercy, we can come together without any obstacle and here with healthy condition. The Honorable Professor Tefek Tomira Ivanova as our keynote speaker, the Honorable Professor Dr. Haji Ade Hikmat MPD as the Director of SPS UHAMKA, the Honorable Dr. Yesi Yanitasari MPD as the Head of Magister Program in Primary Education SPS UHAMKA. I would like to call also the Honorable Lecturers, Dr. Purnama as the Head of International Affairs, Professor Dr. Anna Suhaina Suparno, Professor Suswandari, Dr. Winnie, Dr. Ernawati, Dr. A. Kosasi, Dr. Nurrohmah, all the happiest lecturers and students of UHAMKA Magister Program, and all the participants. Next, let me show the rundown and rules. Yeah. All right, the first one is opening, and then the second one is speech from Head of Magister Program in Primary Education SPS UHAMKA by Ms. Yesi. And third is during visiting Professor Erasmus Plus, we will have presentation by Prof. Ivanova, presentation by Ms. Julia Suci Rejeki, summary and closing statement by Prof. Dr. Anna Suhaina Suparno. After that, we have question and answer session, and the last is closing. Now, let's see the rules. All right, the rules, first is be ready, and the second one is stay muted. We would appreciate it if you could mute your microphone at all times while the speaker is speaking, and only turn it on at the appropriate times when invited. Third, you can type your question on the chat box. The question is about education in Bulgaria and Japan. And then fourth is keep the camera on. Please also do rename yourself. For UHAMKA, name underscore SPS, and then for public, name underscore institution underscore city. All right, the next agenda is welcoming speech from the head of Magister Program in Primary Education SPS UHAMKA by Miss Yesi Yanita Sari. Miss Yesi, time is yours.
Thank you, dear Yohan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Visiting Professor Erasmus Plus program. I'm Yesi Yanita Sari, the head of Magister Program of Primary Education in SPS UHAMKA. First of all, let us express our gratitude towards the Almighty who was blessing our always with us, so that we all can be here in good condition and health. It is such an honor for me to give a welcome speech in this program. I'm very thankful to you, Prof. Ivanova. I would also like to thank the university leaders and lecturers. I also wish to thank all the committees who have organized this wonderful annual event. I'm especially excited to welcome the participants who take part in this program. I welcome all of you to this webinar, which has received great attention not only from university, but also students from another university and teachers from many schools in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, my sincere gratitude also goes to our keynote speakers of the webinar. We have Prof. Svedimir Ivanova. I'm so sorry if I'm not right in pronouncing your name. Thank goodness you prefer to be called Ivanova. Make it easier for us. Welcome to our webinar and welcome to Indonesia, welcome to Jakarta, and welcome to UHAMKA, our beloved university. I hope you can enjoy staying here for several days. Yesterday we met at wedding party, so you can know a little bit about our culture. Previously you have traveled to Prambanan and Tebing Breksik. And today I should have accompanied Prof. Ivanova this morning for a tour of Taman Mini Indonesia Indah, but unfortunately Taman Mini is being renovated, so it's closed. I think this means you have to visit Indonesia again, right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that this webinar will be the source of innovative ideas, concepts, and knowledge in the educational world. Finally, through this webinar, let us extend the network and collaboration among all participants. For your information, we are currently opening registration for postgraduate students. Let's join in SPS UHAMKA. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Yasi. Okay, the next agenda. Yeah, the next agenda is presentation by Prof. Mira Ivanova. Miss Winnie will lead the session. Yeah, time is yours, Miss Winnie.
Thank you, Miss Yohan, for
welcome, Miss Winnie.
This opportunity.
All right.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we attend the webinar about the education in Bulgaria and Japan. And I will read the CV of Prof. Ivanova. Prof. Mira Ivanova, PhD. She's from Bulgaria, Sofia University, St. Clement Ohridski, Japanese Studies Department, Doctor of Social Science. Hello, Prof.
Hello, thank you for a great introduction. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, I can hear you quite well. I hope you have a wonderful time in Indonesia, Prof.
Oh yes, you know, I just thought about it. Since you're opening registration, if I didn't have my master and PhD, probably I would have applied for UHAMKA. Probably in my next life, hopefully. But thank you very much for having me here. It has been great from the very beginning. I'm sure it will be great until the end. Such a warm welcome. So once again, thank you for having me, and I hope we can work now and collaborate in the future successfully. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ivanova. Prof. Ivanova will present the primary education in Bulgaria and Japan. And Prof. Ivanova, you have 30 minutes for the presentation, and time is yours.
Thank you very much. I hope I can finish on time because I have so many things to tell you. So once again, thank you for joining this webinar. I can see there are many people online, so I hope I can share my knowledge and you can share your knowledge with me, because I do not know many things about primary education in Indonesia. So let's collaborate, let's cooperate, and let's have a good academic time in the next 30 minutes to 1 hour. So let me share my presentation.
Yes, please.
Just a second. I want to go to the first slide. Okay, can you see the first slide now? Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you very much to the moderators. Thank you very much for a great introduction. I will start with my presentation now, comparing education in Bulgaria and Japan, and mainly comparing primary education, since this is what you're actually doing here in UHAMKA. My name is Svetomira Ivanova. Thank you for taking your time and pronouncing it correctly. I come from Bulgaria, from Sofia University. It's a very old university. I remember that UHAMKA was founded in 1957. Sofia University is more than 130 years old. Today's topic is close to my field of research and also close to my heart, because I have taught in a Japanese elementary school, and I have this experience. And also I have 2 small children who attend Bulgarian primary school. So apart from the academic part of this presentation, I also have personal experience to share. So let me continue with the first slide. Since the topic is related to comparative education, let us once again find the best definition for comparative education. So this is research frameworks that uses the comparative method. You have to compare to explore similarities and differences. What is similar or different in educational systems and practices in different countries. So not only countries, also regions, because I'm sure just like in Indonesia, there are many islands. So in one country, there can be different ways of different types of education. So who gave the first definition of a comparative education? It was 1 year after UHAMKA was founded in 1958. Nicholas Hans gave definition. What is comparative education? It's a step-by-step, like careful study of different and often contrasting education systems with a view of understanding their similarities and differences so that we can gain experience and apply to our systems of education. So although the topic was Bulgaria and Japan, I would like to start with Japan, and then I will move to Bulgaria. I got my PhD degree in Japan, my PhD. I have been living there for a long time. And actually, I have been to Japanese elementary schools many, many times, teaching English or presenting Bulgaria. So I do really know what's the atmosphere of a Japanese elementary school. But apart from just experience, let us take a look at some facts. Probably most of you know, because you're closer to Japan, basic school system in Japan is composed of elementary school, middle school, and high school, of course, and university. Education is compulsory only for the 9 years of elementary and middle school, meaning every child has the right to and has to go to school for the first 9 years of education in Japan. And you know, it's compulsory, meaning 100%. But in Japan, the people that go to elementary school and middle school are 98.8% of the students. Elementary school is called shogakko because I'm in Japanese department. I know how to write and pronounce it, shogakko, and it's compulsory, as I said, so everyone has to go. It is 6 years long. Children have to go to shogakko for 6 years. They begin their first grade in the April, after they turn 6. When they become 6 years old, next April, they start their school year in Japan. You know that in Japan, the school year starts in April, in spring. Different in Bulgaria, I will tell you later. Kindergarten is growing increasingly popular, but it is not mandatory. And starting school is considered a very important event in child's life. So in Japan, many mothers take care of their children until the age of 6, until they start elementary school, which is very different for Bulgaria. So I will let you know later. So here you can take a look at this chart. I have tried to be as clear as possible. So first you have 6 years of elementary school of Japan, then you have 3 years of junior high school, and also 3 years of high school. And sometimes in high school, you have just 1 year of vocational school or college of technology and so on. But what's the topic of this presentation today? We are dealing with the first 6 years of education in Japan, which is elementary school. Very easy to remember, 6 years starting at the age of 6. Okay, so let's talk about primary education in detail. So when we talk about education, what's important, of course, mainly is the curriculum. In Japan's primary education, first 6 years, curriculum is divided into 3 main categories. This is not the subjects that they teach. This is the subjects fall into 3 categories. You have compulsory subjects, you have moral education, and also you can have special activities like club activities. What are the compulsory subjects? Every child should learn Japanese language, Japanese literature, which is different from Japanese language, also mathematics, social sciences, science, music, arts, and handcrafts, and physical education. I will go back to these later one by one. Tuition at public elementary and junior high school is free. However, there are several additional costs. You know, in Japan, most of the schools are public schools. Of course, there are private schools, probably just like in Indonesia, very expensive private schools. And in order to enter private school in Japan, you have to go to an interview with your parents so that everybody can trace the jobs of your parents or if you fit for the school or not. But even if the school is private, the curriculum is not very different from that of public elementary school. Just the school is very expensive. It costs a lot of money. So public and elementary school is free. The students just have to pay for their lunch at school. And I have seen that. Mothers and fathers just give the students some money. They put the money in a special envelope and they pay for lunch at school. You know, lunch at Japanese school is very special. It's a very nice tradition, but I will talk about it a little bit later. So what I have here down on this slide, there is a link. It's by the Japanese Ministry of Education. It's just a brochure a very recent one. And if you click on it later, probably if you have some time, there is a little bit of detailed information about elementary school from the source, from Japanese Ministry of Education. Please, if you have time, take a look at it later, because right now probably we don't have the time to do it. Okay. Let's continue with the education goals. So we have a curriculum, but we also have goals. What do schools have to look like, and what are the main goals for children to be successful and to behave and to like their school? And so there is a good result. What is elementary school in Japan? The school helps children acquire basic knowledge and skills and mind to have healthy social life as an individual, as well as a member of society of nation. So this one, it has nothing to do with actual science. It's just the role of the school as a parent. So this is social life as an individual. Then next goal of primary education in Japan is to help the children develop rich humanity, recognize their own charm and individuality through interaction with others. So not all students are treated equally. I will once again point to that later. Every teacher discovers the uniqueness of the children in the class. However, together they should work as a small, nice society. So according to Roland and Bjork in 1998, they say that creativity is intensified and promoted in Japanese elementary school, meaning that each of the children in the class, although they are a part of a team, they are given the right to be creative, not only in arts class or physical education class. They can be creative even in mathematics class or Japanese language class, and the teacher gives them the freedom to be creative. Also, another scholar says that self-reliance means the development of oneself with a set of independent motivation, and it is intended to achieve a capacity for self-motivated effort, meaning that everyone should have their own motivations and should do their best and rely on themselves, although they are within a group. All Japanese are equal in potential. So teachers believe that all of their students have the potential to graduate from elementary school. It does not mean that Japanese students are homogeneous. It means that everyone, as I mentioned above, should do their best and do their best in the learning process. Japanese teachers are very supportive to their students. I don't know how it is in Indonesia, but I have seen in Japan, even if the school is very big, the main teacher, the teacher of the class, knows everything about each child, about their parents, about the situation at home. And they know so much about the children, they can immediately say what their special talent is. When I go and talk to the Japanese elementary school teacher, for example, if I said, oh, I will sing a song in English in my next class, and the teacher immediately says, oh, do you know, can you please invite Kenta? Kenta is the name of a boy. Can you please invite him on stage because he's really good at singing? So they know every one of their students and they're supportive. So what is the school day in elementary school in Japan? One thing I can say, it is a very happy place, no stress. Japanese society might be stressful later when they start to work in a company, but in school, it's like heaven on earth. It's a very relaxed, harmonious day. unity among students. Students are best friends, and they play, study, and share the idea with friends in a unified group. And it's not only about playing and studying, they also work together on cleaning the classroom. So again, harmonious and unified circumstances. Okay, so of course, obvious, Japanese elementary school is significant to educate the children to be moral, creative, independent, and loyal individuals. Okay, so some history on that. First, let's say, first curriculum was designed in 1940, and it covered 5 core subjects: ethics, Japanese language, arithmetic, music, and physical education. Then in 1947, Japanese created a fundamental law of education. This is the main law of education in Japan, and they made a slight change to the subjects. And the last change, big change, was made in 1998, and this is the newest curriculum. Again, I have the names of the subjects in Japanese. Dotoku, moral education. I don't know if you have it in Indonesia, but in Bulgaria, we do not have moral education. We do not dedicate time to moral education. Just one thing we do is there is a very rare occasion when there is a class meeting, and if there are some problems, students can share with their teacher. But Dotoku, given as first one, moral education, we do not have this. So it's believed in Bulgaria, this is the role of the parents. So then we have Kokugo. This is national language, Japanese language. Kokugo is very difficult for elementary school students because, you know, they have to start studying kanji, or which is the very difficult Japanese writing system. Sansu, it's believed that Japanese people are really good at math because traditionally they have the soroban. It's a special way of making math. Probably you know it. Rika, science. It's not only on textbooks. They do a lot of experiments in class. So this is the 4th one. Here I cannot see very well. But then we have Sogo, general subject, Seikatsu, social life, Kateika, homemaking, they learn how to cook, health education, which is always very important. In each Japanese school, there is a nurse who takes care, or doctor, or male or female nurse who take care. I can see a question. Probably I can answer later. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, because I just saw it on the screen. Okay. Then health education, ongaku. You know, music can do a lot for children. And then you have zukoka, which is handicraft. They really deal with wood and metal. So. Details about each of these subjects I have given here if you're interested. So one thing that is very interesting is English in primary education. Long time ago, there was no English in primary education in Japan. Traditionally, Japanese people used the grammar translation method, a very old method, of Nakahama Manjiru's Kanbun system. But little by little, Japanese Ministry of Education started understanding the importance of English language. So they, apart from those subjects that I just mentioned, they started incorporating English language in primary school. I don't know if you have it in Indonesia in elementary school. So April 2011, English instruction became compulsory starting in the 5th grade of elementary school at the age of 10. So elementary school, 5th grade and 6th grade, now they have also English in the curriculum. So here I have my name because I have taught in Japanese elementary schools English, not only in 5th and 6th grade, they have other programs starting even from 1st grade, but these are not in the national curriculum. Still, as some kind of additional activities, I think that English exists in Japanese primary education from the 1st grade to the 6th grade. One more thing, by 2020, Japanese Ministry of Education wanted to incorporate English also in 3rd grade and 4th grade in public schools and private schools, but still not done due to COVID. So starting probably from next year in elementary school in Japan, English classes will be taught to 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade. And it will be a part of the national curriculum, not just some other kind of program. So here I have 2 links. Probably you can take a look at them. One of them is from NHK program. You have it here in Japan, but this is on-demand video. It's dedicated to COVID-19 education, primary school education in Japan. So if you have time, please take a look. It's a 30-minute movie and it covers everything Japanese school teachers had to struggle with and everything they did during COVID. And the second one is a very funny video. It's just for relaxation. Old time Japanese English teacher from long time ago, the way he taught English to students. So please take a look if you have time. Okay, so that's it about Japan. Should I answer the questions about Japan now or at the end of the presentation? Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss. There is a question and answer session after the presentation.
Okay, because they just pop up in my computer. Okay, so I'm moving to the second time of the presentation. Yes. Are you, excuse me, how much time do I have left? May I ask you?
Around 10 minutes.
Okay, good, let's do it. It's just, I will be on time. So let's continue with Bulgaria. I haven't taught at Bulgarian primary school or elementary school, but I have a daughter who just graduated, or she will graduate very soon from primary school. And I have another daughter, a younger one, just entering primary school. So I have experience about it. And of course, from educational point of view, I can academic point of view, I can share some information with you. So probably because some of you know some facts about Japan, you don't know anything about Bulgarian education or almost anything, unless you have prepared for today's lecture. So does Bulgaria have good education? Do we have schools, universities? Yes, we do. Traditionally, because we were a communist country, education was valued very highly. So traditionally, Bulgaria has had high educational standards. However, in the post-communist era, the first years of democracy, there was low funding and some low teacher morale and also low teacher salaries. So that altogether damaged the system to some extent, particularly in vocational training. So, of course, I think Indonesia is fighting for better education. Of course, Bulgaria is also, we are doing our best. So are we educated? I think we are. Because if you look at the statistics, if you look at the numbers, Bulgaria's education system has a list of positive statistics. Literacy rate is 98.3%, meaning that 98.3% of the population in Bulgaria can read and write freely and understand text and so on and so on. And there are only 5,000 primary school aged children out of school. So whole Bulgaria, only 5,000 do not go to school. And nearly 95% of students enrolled in secondary school when we talk about secondary school. So here I have attached a report. If you are interested, you can take a look. There is a lot of numbers, a lot of statistics probably you can use for your report later if you're writing a report or doing some kind of research. Newest data, so you can take a look if you're interested. So here is the same chart I have prepared for Japan. I have also prepared the same for Bulgaria. But since we are talking about primary education, let's take a look at it. First, going from down up. First, we have early childhood educational development from the age of 0 until the age of 3 years. I'm talking about babies. In Bulgaria, we have national facilities, national kindergartens. And once your baby is 10 months old, not even 1 year old, 10 months old, you can take it to that kind of kindergarten. So of course, the baby is not learning anything, but just you do not pay much money to the state. Actually, it's for free now. Started last April. It's for free, but not many places. So you have to fight for it. So from the age of 0 until the age of 3, your child can attend kindergarten. Then very new fact, starting from 2020, we have pre-primary education. This is compulsory. So from the age of 4, children, including my younger daughter, she had to attend. It's called kindergarten again, but from the age of 4. So she has 2 years of it. They started, it's real education. They started to use books. They started to use videos. So they have to do it in order to start primary school. So nowadays, children start school, not school, but compulsory education at kindergarten from the age of 4, very new. And again, it's free. When it comes to a public institution, it's free. So both my children, they went to early childhood educational development. They started going there at the age of 1.5 years. Just start walking and they can go. It's a full day care, full day, starting from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, so that I can go to work and other mothers can go to work. So until primary school, children can stay there for full day. They nap there, they sleep. They also get food, and there are a lot of nurses, helpers who help them. Then we have primary education, which is very interesting, because in Bulgaria, stage 1 and stage 2 of primary education we have, but usually we call primary education only stage 1, which is 4 years. In Indonesia, 6 years, am I correct? In Japan, 6 years. In Bulgaria, only 4 years. But if you include the kindergarten education I just managed for 2 years, again, it's altogether 6 years. So that's the main difference. And a European style of education and Asian style. For us, primary education, elementary school is 4 years. For you, it's 6 years. You do not have, or Japan doesn't have a compulsory kindergarten education, but in Bulgaria, we have 2 years of compulsory kindergarten education. So yeah, if you have questions, I can. Okay, so unfortunately, in Bulgaria, we have a declining rate of birth. So we have less and less children attending school. So unfortunately, due to that reason, due to declining population, we are closing schools. There are less and less schools in Bulgaria. So this is very sad, but the trend is likely to continue, and we will have again decline in population by around 99%, I'm sorry, by 2030. So yes, very sad, but we are closing schools. Next slide is once again, we have minorities, probably also in Indonesia, you have minorities. Some parents refuse to send their children to school, but we are really trying, especially with pre-primary education, to ask those people to let their children go to kindergarten and go to school. But still some barriers to access persist. For example, for disabled students, or if the school is very far from a village, there are not buses all the time. So, but still trying. Once again, a newest reform in our country. So this is compulsory education from the age of 4. I have another, I took this information from a great source. In 2019, 83% of the children in Bulgaria were enrolled in preschools. While in the EU, European Union, Bulgaria is a part of the European Union, 95% of the children were enrolled in preschool. So right now, with the change in Bulgaria, we hope that this number will go up. So again, a lot of information about the age and the kind of schools and education. So once again, the aim of pre-primary education, kindergarten education, is to provide education, socialization, training, and care for children until they enter grade 1. And preschool education is provided on a full day, half day, hourly, or individual organization. But mainly, as I told you, kindergarten, you can go from the morning until the evening, which is perfect for parents who work a full day in an office. Again, in preschool, there are many teachers, also nurses, and special staff that takes care of the small children. Okay, let's start with, continue with primary education. School education, elementary, primary, starts at the age of 7. If some of the parents decide, 6-year-old students may also enter school if their physical and mental development allows this. Usually kindergarten gives a certificate to parents if the child is ready for school. For example, oh, your child is still 6 years of age, but he or she can do this, 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 and this. So it's okay, you can let him or her go to school. In my case, my younger daughter is 6 years old, so she will start school at the age of 6. So it's really on decision of the parents. Okay, then probably I already explained in the graph. We have primary stage of education, 4 years. We have lower secondary stage, grade 5, 6, and 7. Then we have secondary education in first secondary stage, 8, 9, and 10, and then second secondary stage of education, 11 and 12. Sometimes there are different kinds of schools that can offer some future job for the students. For example, my older daughter, she studies in a special school. It's a music school, but those schools are very rare. So all in all, that's it. 4 years of primary education. Probably I'm almost out of time, so I'll just skip this one. Okay, so we call primary education in Bulgaria начално образование. At the end of primary education, there is some exam. It's not popular in the other part of the world, I think, but in Bulgaria, when students finish primary education, they have to take exam in Bulgarian language and also in mathematics. This exam is not so important. It's very important to evaluate the teacher who taught the class and also the level of the school. So even if the children's results are not that good, it's considered that the teacher or the school is to blame. But anyway, it's just for statistics. Okay. So let me talk a little bit of the curriculum. From 1st to 4th grade, from the age of 6 or 7 to 10 or 11, students study Bulgarian language and literature. It's not only language, it's also literature. They start reading books and discussing. Foreign languages, in our case, it can be German, French, or English, but some schools offer Spanish. So from 3rd grade and 4th grade, it's included in the curriculum. It's a different teacher. They have one main teacher, then they have one teacher for the foreign language, and they have another teacher for physical education, for sports. Usually, from my experience in Japan, it's one teacher and then just one teacher for sports, but not usually. So in Bulgaria, you have a class teacher, also teacher that teaches languages, and sports teacher. And in the case of special school, like music school or art school, of course, you have additional teacher. How many classes? Every day, they have 4 to 5 classes, and length of the classes is only 40 minutes. So 40 minutes Bulgarian class, 40 minutes math class, and then of course they have short breaks. When they finish primary education, they receive a certificate, a primary education completion certificate. And the thing I talked about a little bit later is there is nowadays, there is a new invention, new thing. They have to take a test in Bulgarian language and in mathematics when they graduate from primary school. So the school year starts around September 15th. So in autumn, our school year starts in autumn. There are 2 semesters or 2 terms. We have September to February, then we have February until May or June. And we really have a long summer holiday in Bulgaria, 2 or 3 months. It depends on the grade. Here I have very detailed information about holidays. For example, in primary education, first-year students finish around May 24th, so already finished. Second, third, and fourth-year students finish around May 30th, almost, yeah, already finished. So this is one very interesting picture. First day of school, which is September 15th, is a big party in Bulgaria. Everybody is really happy. Everybody puts on like newest clothes, because there are no uniforms in Bulgarian schools. Just very few schools have uniforms, or just from time to time you can wear a uniform of the school. So just normal public schools, they do not have uniforms. You see the flowers, the students, all of them, they just give the flowers to the teacher. It's not on Teacher's Day, just first day of school is considered a very important occasion. And yes, especially for first graders, these are first, and their parents, for us also. You can see there are balloons, there are parents, and here down you can see some part of the Bulgarian alphabet. We use a special alphabet which is different from the one you use. It's called a Cyrillic alphabet. It was created in Bulgaria, and it's very similar to the Russian alphabet, but it all started from Bulgaria. So yeah, those letters, they look a little bit to the side, but it's very easy to read. Also, again, this is a first year students' classroom on the first day of school. Books they receive from the school, everything is free. Lunch they have at the school, there is usually a school cafeteria, and it is also very cheap. And they finished school at noon. Winnie told me they start, here you start at 6:30 and you finish at 10:30. In Bulgaria, because it's not so hot, we start around 8, and primary school, they finish school at noon. They have lunch, and they also have afternoon activities. They stay at school, and with a different teacher, they prepare their homework. And even after that, they can have additional activities. So they go to school around 8 and probably go back from school around 6 in the evening. So it's a whole day, full day of school. And of course, additional activities are paid by parents, can be sports, but it's in the school. So students are secure, they are in a safe place. And of course, after that, after work, the parents go and pick them up. So here you have 2 links. One of them is just a timetable, just to take a look at school webpage, how it looks like. And the second one is very interesting. It's called Shkolo. Shkolo is old Bulgarian word for school, and it's a unified system for all Bulgarian schools. I can find almost everything about Bulgarian schools here. And as a parent, I can check my students' grades in this system. If I log in, I can see if my daughter did well, if her teacher is happy with her. So I can find all kinds of information, including tests, including everything in a single system. So if you would like, you can take a look at it. Here, last thing, because time is up, you can take a look at this link. It is the test in mathematics from last year, primary school test in mathematics. Because if I put the test in Bulgarian, you may not understand, but this is the test in mathematics. So if you take a look at it, you can see what's the level of mathematics education in Bulgaria, 4th grade, not 6th, just 4th grade. And thank you for your attention, and I will be very happy to answer all of your questions. So thank you very much. And sorry, probably I took some more time. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ivanova, for sharing the primary education in Japan and Bulgaria. It's very interesting, and many questions in the chat box. For the participants, yes, you can ask question in chat box or ask directly to Prof. Ivanova in question and answer session after the following presentation. the sharing session about primary education in Indonesia, as Prof. Ivanova requested, right, Prof?
Yes.
And it will be presented by Miss Yulia Suci Rejeki. Miss Yulia Suci Rejeki, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Winnie. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, Professor Ivanova. This is interesting to listen about your explanation about Bulgarian and Japanese education. So let me introduce myself. My name is Yulia Suci Rejeki. I am the student of Magister Program Primary Education UHAMKA. Ms. Winnie, can you help about the slide?
I think I have stopped sharing my screen, so you can start sharing yours probably.
Mr. Warta, could you please help Miss Yulia?
Oh, okay. Okay, but I have to stop sharing so that.
Okay. As we know that Indonesia is the largest archipelago in the world. It consists of 5 major islands. About 5 major islands. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. It consists about 5 major islands, as you can see, and about 30 smaller groups. There are total numbers of 17,580 islands, which about 6,000 are inhabited. And next slide, please. So what is primary school? Primary school here is simply defined as an elementary school and junior school where children receive primary and elementary education. In Indonesia, the age to enter primary school is usually at the age 7, but some students choose to start at 6. It's almost the same like in Japan. Typically, children enter primary school after completing preschool. But the difference about Bulgarian and Indonesian education, the preschool is not compulsory in Indonesia, even though some kids go to kindergarten, especially in the city. And primary education prepares children for the transition to the secondary school. And when I heard about the school year, it is very different about 3 countries. Where Japan starts on April, Bulgaria starts on September, while in Indonesia, our academic school year starts on July. This program requires every Indonesian citizen for 9 years at the basic education level, from grade 1 of elementary school or madrasah ibtidaiyah to grade 6, and grade 7 to 9 for junior high school or madrasah sanawiyah. That madrasah is a school of the religion school. If you see here, the students, they are wearing the uniform. So when I heard Professor Ivanova talking about uniform, we have many uniform, but in Bulgarian, there's no uniform. We have the white and red are for the primary school or elementary school, and those in white and blue are for the secondary school. And another different uniform. Moreover, we have another different that about sport or about batik also. Okay, next slide, please.
It's okay. Easier.
Okay. Elementary school is, the number of elementary schools is the largest in this country. Last year, the total number of public and private elementary school in Indonesia in school year, it reached 148,743 schools. And the majority of schools are the public elementary school, or it's about 88% of the total from elementary school in the country. And there are also Islamic primary school, as we know, Madrasah Ibtidaiyah, which is combination of primary school and Islamic general and junior secondary school called Madrasah Sanawiyah, which is usually supervised by the Ministry of Religious Affairs. Primary school in Indonesia is known as Sekolah Dasar. It's almost the same, right? When in Bulgaria, Sekolah. Is it? Am I saying the right pronunciation? And we have Sekolah.
Just it's an old word. Current word is very complicated. We have uchiliste, but old word from before it's školo. Yeah, just like škola. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost the same. Sekolah.
You're right.
Okay, it is compulsory for the children to attend a primary education, as it helps students as goal to gain the knowledge and the skills where they can be well-functioning individual in society and also well-being students. Minister of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology administers the education system in Indonesia. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, here now we talk about diversity in Indonesia. The different location, condition, and situation of each province cause differences in service education, both from teachers or the facilities. As we see here in the picture, some students have to climb steps, hills with rocky roads to arrive at school, and some needs to cross the river on foot or by boat. And another side, some students go to school by car, motorcycle, by bikes, or on foot. And how about lunch? Here in Indonesia, some schools, such as private school, they provide lunch. As you said before, they have to give some amount to the school, but some students, maybe the majority, they bring lunch from home. Or
may I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm sorry, because you said you finish school at 10:30, primary school finishes school at 10:30. Mm-hmm. What time do you have lunch?
Well, our school start at 6:30, and then it finishes at 12.
At 12. Okay. So after that you have lunch. Okay. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay. So some students, maybe they have lunch when they arrive home.
I see.
Okay, and then next slide, please. Okay, now talk about curriculum. Indonesian primary school curriculum. The primary school curriculum in Indonesia comprises of Pancasila. It is state of our ideology, language skills, literacy and numeracy skill, religious studies. This one is compulsory for our citizen about religion. And then geography, civic education, history, science, physical and health education, and then the new one is information and communication technology. So the classroom instruction is usually carried out in Indonesia's national language, is Bahasa Indonesia. But nowadays, for English education in primary school, it become a choice. The school will choose either teaching English or they will teach a local culture. And as for Islamic-based children, as Islamic-based primary school, children study an additional subject on the precept and tradition of the Islamic religion, because here there are many Islamic primary schools, so the school add some subject that related to the Islamic religion. Next slide, please. Okay, now this one, the Curriculum Merdeka. This is the new one. Curriculum Merdeka. Merdeka, it means of freedom. So freedom to learn. It's a new learning program designed by the Indonesian Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology as a response to Industrial Revolution 4.0. And through this way, the graduates are able to be innovative, creative, independent, and competitive. And this curriculum is also designed for building some moral character, as we call Profil Pelajar Pancasila, the blue one like a star here. Profil Pelajar Pancasila is a Pancasila student profile, are the embodiment of Indonesian students as lifelong students who have global competence and behave in accordance with the value of Pancasila as our ideology, with 6 main characteristics here about beriman dan bertakwa is about faith, fear, and God Almighty, and noble character. It's talking about the default to God and having good character, about respecting not only to God but also to all of His creature. And also another moral character is about global diversity, mutual cooperation, independence, and we want also our students have a good critical thinking and creative, as you saw the following video. Okay, that's all I think. Is it? Next slide. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Winnie. I give it back to you.
Thank you, Miss Yulia, for the brief explanation about primary education and in Indonesia. To all the participants, thank you very much for your participation. Now we have more than 300 participants. And please fill the attendance list on the chat box. Now we are going to have a question and answer session. If you have any question about primary education in Bulgaria and Japan, please type it on the chat box. And also you can raise your hand if you want to ask directly to Prof. Ivanova. Oh, sorry. Hello, Prof. We have one question for you. It's a similar question.
Okay.
And I choose one question that represents the questions.
Both of them, okay, okay.
Yes. How does the Japanese education system develop the human resources? Have outstanding qualification and also for the good characters. And how about the education for the special needs students in Japan or and also in Bulgaria?
Okay, so just I would like to confirm special need. I understood. Just first part of the question once again, please. Outstanding human resources, did you say?
Yes, a qualification in Japan and also for the good characters.
Probably the person who asked the question can take a look at the link I have put. It's a very, I think it's very nice resource material from Japanese Ministry of Education. Probably it will answer the question better than me, but still for me, because elementary school first builds their character to live together as a group of friends, they gain a lot of positive attitude towards education. And when they start like this in junior high school and in high school, they are still good friends, and they just, this is the Japanese system, gambaru. They do their best, and they do their best together with their friends. So they motivate each other to do their best. So of course, also, university has a crucial role in building good specialists, but at Japanese school, I think people trust each other. There is mutual trust. And also with the instruction and the trust to teacher, probably they build the perfect group. And within this group, the individual can develop in the best way. Probably this gives an answer to the first question, or not really. Probably the participant can, or participants can say. As well as disabled children, it depends on the disability. For example, in Bulgaria, we have special schools for eye disabled students, also ear disabled students, but lately, or also a psychological problem. But lately, there is a tendency of inviting those students and their parents to the normal schools, normal classrooms, so then they can adapt to society and they can be useful to society and they can adapt easily. So in Bulgaria, parents of those children are allowed to stay in the classroom and help their children. And usually also there is a one-to-one teaching. So even if that child is in the classroom, they have their personal teacher who helps them throughout the process. So parent can be in the classroom, then they have a special teacher only for them, of course, for free from the state. As far as Japan, I don't have updated recent information, but I don't think it's much different. In Japanese schools, there are many psychologists, there are many helpers, there are many teachers, and once again, they try to, there is a good process of adaptation for disabled students. It doesn't matter what kind of disability they have. I hope it's the same in Indonesia. So, but yes, in Bulgaria, just for very special needs, we have a special school. For blind students, there is one special school. For deaf students, also another special school.
Okay, thank you, Prof. And we go to the live question from Miss Sri Agustina, please. Miss Sri Agustina, you can open your mic to ask directly to Prof. Ivanova.
Okay, thank you for moderator, Mrs. Winnie. And this is an hour to meet you, to Professor Ivanova. And so, let me introduce myself. My name is Sri Agustina. I'm currently working in the school, especially for elementary school, and I now live in South Jakarta. And so I want to ask to you, Professor Ivanova, because I'm really interested in the educational system in Japan and Bulgaria, but I want to ask about the educational system in Japan. And so just now you mentioned it about all Japanese children are equal in potential and excitement of learning, can be best produced in unity of equals. And the question about that you mentioned about that is how to bring up or to improve, make Japanese children aware that they have a great potential and can be developed with confidence. Because my problem occurred in my classroom where I teach, that is based on my experience. It is very difficult to increase the confidence of the children, Professor. It can be a unique thing that I can implementation in my classroom, and how to bring up and to improve the Japanese children aware of there to develop the confidence over there. Maybe
Okay.
that is my question. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a great question. I believe, I cannot be 100% sure because each and every country is different. Each and every class is different. But what I have seen in Japanese schools is that teacher is a friend to elementary school children. Of course, there is some distance, of course, but he or she considers himself or herself a part of the class. He or she knows very well the students. They study their character, they study it at night in their homes. I have heard from them that they study the character of the student. They think about them all the time. They talk to the parents also, and that they give them freedom. They give them freedom to express themselves freely. So once again, the atmosphere in the classroom is very friendly. There is no fear. There is you know, in Japanese school, there are no marks. Do you know, like, or tests? They, of course, they have some kind of small tests, and of course they get some points, but nobody is afraid they will fail. This is the main feature of Japanese elementary education that I like. So if you are not afraid you will fail, of course you will try anything. I don't know, is there grading in Indonesian primary school? Do the students get grades? Are they afraid they will fail and they will get low grades? Is there grading? Sri Augustina, can you answer me? Unmute, please. Unmute, please. They will unmute. Just a second. Just a second. Okay, now I can hear you. Go ahead. Okay. Are there tests and marks in elementary education in Indonesia?
Yes, exactly. Yes. There are many tests in Indonesia.
So that's it. That's it. In Japanese elementary education, their primary school, no tests, no marks. So of course they study, but they are not afraid to fail. So probably what you can do is teach your children not to be afraid of failure. Just try, it will be okay. In Bulgaria also, in Bulgarian primary education, there are marks, but not that strict, not that strict. Also the tests I mentioned, like mathematics and Bulgarian language at the end of primary education, not that strict. So probably this is the problem. Children are afraid to fail. They are afraid their parents will be angry with them for bad marks. Probably this is where the problem lies. So just encourage them to express themselves freely. And even if they fail, there is a mistake, there is a way out. So they should not worry. They should feel in the classroom as if they are at home, because I'm sure you're a good teacher. You gave them everything. So thank you. She wants to say something.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes. Yeah, thanks a lot for Professor Ivanova. That is, so maybe if in any countries no many tests, many marks, maybe the students also is very fun in learning like that. Yes, I hope so in Indonesian like that in Merdeka curriculum. Yes, thanks a lot for you, Professor Ivanova, and it is an honor to meet you even though in Zoom meetings. Yes,
thank you. Please do your best at school. Yes. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Prof. Ivanova and Bu Sri Agustin. Next question, Prof. I think we still have time. And the question is, what is the foundation or philosophy of the Japanese government for the curriculum to apply learning about kateika? What are the details of the implementation in the schools? And how do elementary schools in Bulgaria ensure that learning activities can be fun and meaningful in full-time school condition?
So the question is precise about kateika. Am I correct? Okay.
Yes.
I think it's very much related to what they will need for basic survival on their own. This is what kateika is. It's not to prepare some perfect pieces of art or some perfect food or some perfect clothing. What they do is they try to prepare students for survival by themselves. I'm not saying that something bad will happen, but anyway, they are trying to for students to acquire some skills so that they can be successful by themselves. The thing is, what I have heard is, when it comes to Kateka, I have heard that many mothers finish the things that the students have to finish. So yes, when it comes to sewing, or unfortunately, it happens sometimes. But yes, it's not about being perfect or creating special goods. It's about surviving by yourself and trying to be helpful to others, and also helping your parents at home. So this is the main ideology behind it. And as far as Bulgaria, again, regarding it was the question regarding only Kateka.
No. How do elementary school in Bulgaria ensure that learning activities can be fun and meaningful?
Yeah.
In full-time school condition.
I'm sorry, in the time of pandemic? No, just ensure to be fun. Okay.
In full-time school condition, because in Bulgaria, school is full-time, right?
Correct. To be honest, we are fighting. Very often school, not curriculum cannot be changed often, but books can be changed often. And I'm not sure about Indonesia, but in Bulgaria, different state schools can use different systems, different books. So teachers have meetings and decide which system they will choose. And some of them choose one system of books, others choose the other system of books. Of course, it covers the curriculum, but some of the books are more fun than the others. So it's not just reading from morning until evening. So first thing is books. Some of them can be more fun than others. Second is timetable. Timetable in Bulgarian schools is designed so that every day students have either music class or arts class or physical education class. So they can rest in between the, let's say, serious classes. Of course, it depends on the teacher, especially after COVID, because we started for students, they started school in September this year, I think without any problem. Yeah, but anyway, so they now, after COVID, started incorporating more and more videos. But another thing is just like education in Northern Europe, you know, Finland education, we also let children play outside. If the teacher sees that the situation in class is not very good, he or she is allowed to let the children rest and take them outside. So that, I think that's it. Wisely chosen books, then curriculum designed so they can have some kind of fun class in between. And also they can play freely in the yard. Usually, because the weather in Bulgaria is different from the weather in Indonesia, we have 4 seasons. So children can play in the sun, like it's not so hot outside. They can play in the snow because it snows in Bulgaria. In winter, when they have been inside for a long time, teacher lets them outside. Teachers are allowed to take. They can control the situation very much. And the principal of the school will not be against it. So teacher is very responsible for the atmosphere in their own class. But still, I cannot say that primary education is only fun. Of course, I'm sure that some of the students think it's boring. And also parents have a great role in that. Parents should encourage their students to go to school. Parents should share with their students' experience from their school age, and parents should take an active role together with teachers in education, not only moral, but education of students. Yep.
That's great. Thank you, Prof. Ivanova. Unfortunately, we are limited by the time and we have to end this amazing discussion. For the summary and closing statement will be presented by Prof. Professor Dr. Anna Suhaina Supardo. She
Yes.
was director of IKIP Jakarta in 1992 to 1997. She is the one of the conceptor for the curriculum in Indonesia. We are so lucky that she is a lecturer in SPS UHAMKA now. Professor Anna, time is yours. Prof. Anna.
Thank you very much for giving me time. It is very enjoyable. Kedengeran ya?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes,
yeah,
yes.
Prof. We
Thank
can
you
hear
very
your
much,
voice
Professor.
clearly. Please, Prof.
I can hear her.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Ivanova. It is very interesting to learn from you the system of education in Bulgaria and also comparison to those in Japan. It is a quiet distance from a European country to Japan, of course, but for Indonesia, it is very resourceful that you have explained to us, including your aspiration and also your experience. Actually, I have a question, but I don't have time. Yeah. For instance, do you have the school psychologist in primary school? Because in Indonesia, for instance, those children who belong to special education is integrated in regular primary school. So the teacher face difficulties how to help this kind of student. And then also the career development of teachers, for instance, and also how the teacher association in Bulgaria. Mostly, I want to to have information more on Bulgaria because it is very a new information for me that you are the member of European Union. Yeah. So you are now more European, more Western European rather than Eastern. Yeah.
Yes.
No wonder that your orientation is now to Japan, for instance, and now to Indonesia. Thanks God. Yeah. That we will know further from you. Maybe a bit addition. Before I close my speech. Okay. Could you?
Yeah, sure. Yes, Bulgaria is a part of the European Union, and as such, we have certain rules to follow because European Union consists of many countries. So educational system, although it's different from country to country, we have another level. We have to follow different rules from the European Union. As far as Japanese education, can you hear me? As far as Japanese education, why I chose Japanese education, just my bachelor's degree is Japanese language. So that's how I went up. There is no other reason than that. And as far as incorporating students in classroom, I think that's the most important question. Bulgarian teachers struggle too. And not only teachers, also students in the classroom struggle because all of a sudden, if the teacher cannot control the special needs student, the classes are usually ruined. Not only in primary education, also in kindergarten. In the case of both daughters of mine, in kindergarten, there were children who could not control themselves. So thank God, teachers are not left alone. As I mentioned, when there is a special needs child, parent is allowed in the classroom. Parent can enter the classroom. And then also, sometimes it depends on funding, it depends on money, but most times there is a special teacher to this child. So in the classroom, there is one parent, one special teacher, then the child, then main teacher. And of course, usually this causes some problem for other students and parents, especially parents complain all the time. But I think we should be understanding, because those students, they should become as much as possible equal members of society. So in this case, yes, Bulgarian state tries to provide special teacher, one-to-one, like just always with that student. Parent is always allowed to enter the classroom, and then you have the usual teacher in front of the classroom. And even then, sometimes it's very difficult to control. But yes, this is my answer to the question.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. It's very, you are very resourceful.
Yeah.
Okay, Bulgaria is, do you have an ethnic group over there? Like Indonesia, for instance, we have 500 local languages, and also hundreds of local ethnic groups. Yeah, but in Bulgaria, I think only two. How would you describe it?
I would describe as only one ethnic group. I mean, Bulgarians, and then we have just one different ethnic group. And so the language, official language in Bulgarian school is Bulgarian, and that ethnic group, if they want, they can have some education in their language, but official education in Bulgaria should be conducted in Bulgarian. We're not, there is an ethnic group, they are aware of this. So they have extra classes in their own language, because also their religion is different from our main religion. They also have to go to church and so on and so on. But no, education in Bulgaria, primary schools, is conducted only in Bulgarian. So with us, not so many problems as in Indonesia. So we are in this case, we are lucky.
Okay, so I should thank you very much for all your information and for sharing your experience in Japan and your opinion about whatever you have experienced over there. Thank you very much. See you next time. Yeah.
And thank you very much for having me. And I hope we can have another meeting, probably when I go back to Bulgaria, because there are so many unanswered questions here. I can see 28 messages in the chat. So I will make sure that each question is answered. I can type or send the questions back. Just I have to go back to Bulgaria. And probably if you need another meeting or just a simple Zoom meeting, like not such a big webinar, if somebody wants to contact me, here the teachers have my email. So if you have more questions, I'm open. You can contact me anytime, and I will make sure to answer these questions. Just please, the moderator, just keep the questions for me, okay? Professor Anna, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Domo arigato.
Thank you, Prof. Anna. Thank you, Prof. Ivanova. Thank you, Miss Yesi. Thank you, Miss Yulia, for sharing the great topic. And it's so inspiring for us. Thank you to all the participants for joining us in this event. And the question, we will compile this and we will send to you, Prof.
Thank you for great moderation. Thank you for great moderation.
Thank you. And the next is the closing session. Oh, so sad to hear that. Closing session, and the closing session will be hosted by Miss Yohan. Miss Yohan, time is yours.
All right, thank you, Miss Winnie. All right, Thank you, Prof. Ivanova, and thank you very much for your participation. Now we still have more than 200, yeah. Now it's 280 participants, mashallah. Kindly reminder to fill the attendance list on the chat box so you will get the e-certificate directly. All right. Thank you, Prof. Ivanova. Prof, we appreciate your time and sharing. We would like to invite our head of Magister program in primary education to give the e-certificate and souvenir. Please welcome Miss Yesi.
Okay, thank you. From here, yeah, not virtual because
the e-certificate first, maybe.
Okay.
Miss Yesi, all right. Okay, take picture with the e-certificate. Remove the MC and then we. Okay, Pak Warta, would you please take picture, Pak Warta? Thank you. Prof, to the camera, Prof. We will send the picture to you, Prof.
Just a second.
Oh, all right. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile, Prof. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, once again, 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, already. Now the souvenir from Miss Yesi. Time is yours, Miss Yesi. Wow. Thank you.
This is the certificate.
All right, 1, 2, 3, smile.
Oh, just a second.
Okay, mute, unmute, Pak Warta. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. Thank you, BSc, Prof. Ivanova.
Okay.
This is a souvenir.
Such a big souvenir.
Okay, following this.
From NHB until Sundanese and many places, yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Professor Wandari, Bu Winnie, here, Bu Erna.
All right, following this agenda, this is the best time for us to also take pictures together. Everyone, please activate your camera and give your best smile.
Is it like this?
Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. 1, 2, 3, smile. Once again, get closer, Prof. Sus. Get closer. All right. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, there is also here, there is a photo session.
The real one.
Okay.
The real one.
Oh, the real one. All right.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you.
Semuanya perempuan.
Pak Pur nggak mau, Pak Pur.
Semua. Oke.
All right, thank you very much. Finally, we are at the end of this event. To close the event, let's recite Hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.